Today on Panther TV, two South students hit the battlefield for a living lesson in history.
Plymouth South's performers hit the stage to take their biggest challenge yet.
And from the garden into the kitchen, South's culinary department is getting fresher.
I'm a true champion. I'm a champion. I'm a true champion. I'm a champion. I'm a true champion.
Good morning, Plymouth South. I'm Connor Smith.
And I'm Kate Toslowski. Thanks for joining us today.
For some Plymouth South students, a long-time love of history is reaching beyond the classroom and onto the battlefield.
Sienna Gianelli takes us inside a World War II battle.
The year is 1942, and the world is at war. It's war that would have a lasting impact on history. And its significance is something we learn about in the classroom, and for some, like Vinny Ventresca, beyond.
I've been doing reenactings for a little over a year now. I started June of last year, being a history buff and playing sports. It brings those two worlds together for me.
This living history event in Stowe, Massachusetts is a reenactment of a World War II battle. While the weapons only shoot blanks, to spectators, the situation appears to be real.
Nothing comes out of the gun except for a little bit of powder that comes 20 meters out of here, and you're not supposed to shoot within 20 meters of somebody. So this is what the blanks are. They look like real rounds, except for nothing comes out.
While the battles are fake and no real harm is done, Vinny and his team practice for the events regularly.
We have drills every month in a bog in Kingston. We split up the guys, some of them put on German helmets and German clothes, and we have a tactical. We practice manual of arms, we practice bounding.
Vinny's love of history began at an early age, and when he stumbled upon a display at the mall last year and found out about a reenactment group, he jumped at the chance.
I've been interested in history since second grade when I started learning about the Titanic, and then after that it just evolved. But World War II has always been my main thing. It's always been the most fascinating. It has the most drama, it has the most action.
Vinny buys his equipment and pays for his own travel, but his hobby has taken him to several states, and he hopes to take part in an event in Normandy, France next year. These events are more than just the battle itself. The participants must truly immerse themselves into the life of a World War II soldier for the weekend.
Sleeping overnight's rough. That's the rough part. In the daytime, though, we got grills going. We got all the things set up. We got all the guns. We got all the sandbags, and it's like a little town. We sleep in the tiny triangle tents, and they fit two people. If you're lucky, you can put a tarp down, and you sleep on the ground with your rifle and your equipment. These tents don't keep the bugs out. They don't. When it rains, it sucks. Actually, a few months ago, after I pitched my tent, I realized I was on top of an anthill. So that wasn't fun. They got around the tarp and into the tent, so they bit pretty much everything.
South sophomore Nathan Matthews is also involved in reenactments.
There was a little bit of influence from my brother joining the National Guard, so I wanted to do something kind of like it. To respect veterans, understand what they've gone through, understand that their generation is really something to pay attention to and not forget.
For the people involved, this real-life simulation isn't about fighting. Instead, it's meant to raise awareness for just how terrible war is and why we shouldn't let it happen again.
Learn what the veterans went through many years ago in the 1940s and 45, even though most of the generations passed. But when you see either movies or in still books, you don't get the sight and the sound. And granted, it's acting, but you don't get to experience the horror. And if it's inclement weather, like we've had here before, rain, you don't stop. You're still reenacting or honoring the veterans.
And while the groups act out their battles, at the end of the day, there are no sides.
Everyone gets along here. It's a very tight community because the hobby itself has had to gone through some things, and it's grown and we've all developed together. It's about the hobby instead of your unit.
If you're into history and looking for a first-hand experience, catch up with Vinny and he can tell you how to get involved. Reporting for Panther TV, I'm Sienna Gianelli.
That was definitely a first-hand look in history.
Absolutely. Switching gears, the Plymouth Self Drama Club is fresh off their first big performance of the year, a play they took on as a challenge to produce something new.
Here's Pat Ackland with a look inside the preparation for Midsummer Night's Dream.
Shakespeare is something new for the Plymouth South Drama Club, but the hard work and weeks of preparation for this performance paid off. Since September, drama students have spent countless hours after school rehearsing and memorizing lines in preparation for their first live Shakespeare performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Takes a lot of time. I mean, I'm here like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll have 2 weeks where I'm here until like 9 o'clock. Probably a little bit closer to production.
Whether it's acting or taking on a role behind the scenes, students say this is the most challenging performance they've worked on. From memorizing lines in Shakespeare's English to prepping the sets, they're all taking on something new.
This play, it requires a different kind of technical difficulty than what we've had to do in the past.
This is the first time that we've done a Shakespeare in a while, so it's interesting to see how the kids take the language. Yeah, I think this is the first time that they've been challenged not just with content and not just with the method of acting, but also with understanding really difficult language and then making an audience understand it too. It's kind of great to see difficult text come alive when they actually get it and then are able to convince an audience of what it is.
This play's different because we've never done a Shakespeare before. It's serious, but it's also comedic. So we've never tried to put those two things together before.
To perfect this play, students say the cast has had to work as more of a unit this year.
This play we're really kind of starting to develop as a theater guild, and we're really starting to, everyone has a very specific role in this, not just with the cast but the crew as well.
If this has made you want to be involved in the next performance, it's pretty simple.
If you want to be part of theater and drama, all you have to do is come and show up and to want to be part of the production. There's so much more that goes into this than just being on stage. If you want to act, there's always room for that, but if you want to build sets or do hair or makeup or design costumes or learn how to use a light board or a soundboard, we need so many people for all of those things.
Producing a play takes months to perfect, and the theater program perfected A Midsummer Night's Dream. Reporting for Panther TV, I'm Pat Eklund.
For countless lunches, the culinary restaurant here at the school has been supplying students, teachers, and patrons for a delicious meal.
But thanks to opportunities that arose with the new school, the meals are now even fresher.
Here's Caleb Wicki with more.
Most everyone knows about the food here at Culinary, but what you may not know about it is that there's more to it here than just cooking the food.
Hidden out behind the school exists a small set of garden boxes that our very own culinary program pulls from. Might not look like much, but it's extremely important to the program.
The inception on the garden was I had understood that they were doing gardens in some of the elementary schools. I wanted to jump on the bandwagon here at the high school, knowing that we've got the full culinary program here, knowing that we could have a garden that could be, if you will, farm to table. The idea behind it would be that you would have fresh vegetables, fresh herbs that we could pick and go out and get daily.
Not only do students pick from the garden, but they also plant and tend to it, except that's not done by the culinary program, but the Environmental Club, which is student-led by Michael Collins.
Because I'm really into farm to table, and I have a garden myself, and I fish, and I scuba dive, and I hunt. So I love the outdoors. I love natural food, and also being an athlete, I need to eat natural food to lose weight and to get in shape for the season. So being able to not only do that for myself, but also the rest of the community, and bring it for the teachers, students, and the other patrons that come into the restaurant. It's great to be able to grow it and cook it all and know exactly what's going into it and know that it's good for people to eat.
The idea for the gardens was realized thanks to the organization Terra Cura, which installed the garden boxes here, as well as in other locations around our community.
Terra Cura's mission is to teach people about growing organic food right outside their door. So be a producer rather than a consumer. And Terra Cura uses permaculture principles, which is land care, people care, fair share.
Nothing like having your own garden out back, knowing that what you're putting into the soil and what you're getting out of the soil. No preservatives, no pesticides, I should say. So we're not a true organic because it takes several years to become organic, but we're pretty darn close. So organic and knowing that we're not using pesticides and we're growing things naturally.
Besides supplying fresh ingredients, the garden has also served as an authentic learning opportunity for the students.
Students go out, they know how to identify the herbs, they can see the herbs, they actually pick the herbs, and there's nothing better than fresh herbs. The other thing is fresh produce, whether it's cucumbers, whether it's tomatoes, a whole array of different items that are out in that garden.
Being in the culinary program and just liking to cook and liking natural food and having a real passion for nature, it's really cool to turn that into food. Like being outdoors and harvesting what Mother Nature gives you and then turning it into delicious food for people to eat. It's a really good feeling at the end of the day.
While the garden has been a huge asset to the school, the cold weather is starting to limit its yield.
It is getting towards the winter months, so the garden itself is starting to go. The herbs are still very plentiful, so we've been using those every day in culinary. But the tomatoes are still coming in, but everything else is more or less gone. And we're starting to get ready for the winter months, and then we're going to restart next year.
So I'm really happy that this garden's being utilized by multiple groups in your school. The culinary arts department, from what I understand, is coming out all the time and taking the organic herbs and vegetables and utilizing it in their daily preparations.
With this newfound knowledge, maybe you'll savor that first bite just a little bit more and taste all the hard work that goes into the culinary food here at school. Reporting for Panther TV, I'm Caleb Wicki.
For many people, music and art are a way to relax and express themselves.
It's also a way to bring people together. Panther TV's Amber Lawson takes us to a local festival that's goal is just that.
This fall, I traveled to the Elevate Lowell event where people of all ages came together in support of the arts.
I don't think you'll ever understand me. I just wanna feel your...
From music to dancing to art and friendship, Elevate Lowell's main message is all about unity. Started by Emily Horn, the one-day event allows local artists to share their talents in a variety of ways.
Daydreaming.
I have a ton of friends who make their own music, who have their own art, and I just really wanted to showcase that.
A longtime dancer herself, Emily got the idea for the First Time Festival after visiting California, where she attended a much larger scale event. Her goal was to give people a platform to express themselves in as many different ways as possible.
My main inspiration was growing up as a dancer. I started dancing when I was 8 years old, and over time I wasn't as flexible anymore, and I wasn't able to dance the same way. So I went to Coachella 2 years ago, and what I really loved about that whole experience was that they included all different types of genres and all different types of people. Everybody was very welcoming, and I felt like my home definitely has that.
Even though Elevate Lowell is a somewhat small event now, Emily hopes to see it grow in the future. Reporting for Panther TV, I'm Amber Lawson.
Well, we had Spirit Week, but Pep Rally is still to come.
In the past, these events have been linked, but since we've moved to the new school, they've been modified.
Here's Sean Sanjanette with students' thoughts on the changes.
Spirit Week and Pep Rally have always been a way to hype up the big Thanksgiving Day football game against Plymouth North. But in recent years, these events have undergone a change, focusing not only on the big game, but on homecoming as well.
Spirit Week has always gone hand in hand with Pep Rally, which would then segue right into the big Thanksgiving football game against Plymouth North. Last year, these events were moved to coincide with homecoming in an effort to recognize all fall sports. This year, there's a divide. Spirit Week was held leading up to homecoming, and the Pep Rally will be held before Thanksgiving.
I think it should go before Pep Rally, so then we're all hyped up for Pep Rally and everyone's ready for the big game. What's ever going to happen?
Before homecoming is just too soon and it's too rushed, and if it's towards November, then it's like near Thanksgiving and it gets ready for the whole holiday season.
So what's really behind the change? We had tracked down Student Council President Kelly Kozorek to find out why.
We're actually planning on having 2 Spirit Weeks, one before homecoming every year and one before Pep Rally every year. So that way we still remember that Pep Rally is important and we want to build up the hype for that, the dance and the game, but we also want to make sure that people know our Pep Rally is happening to build up the hype for the Pep Rally event and the Thanksgiving Day game against North. So we wanted to make sure that both events had the same amount of hype, so we want to do a Spirit Week for both of them.
For students, most are happy with the Pep Rally coming later, as they feel it will make the event stronger overall.
I think it should be November. Last year it was just too rushed and it was too soon, and they tried to incorporate all of the like fall sports, and that was too much. Instead, it should be focused more on just like the Thanksgiving game.
I think it should be before the big game because it's like if you get hyped up before the season starts or like during the middle of the season, kind of doesn't help much. It gets you hyped up for your next game, but it doesn't get you hyped up for the rest of them.
What students really want to see out of pep rally is involvement from the whole school.
They should try and incorporate all of the students instead of just like the juniors and seniors.
More recent pep rally really just focused on like the captains and the seniors, and the sophomores and freshmen and juniors were all just sitting there like, well, why are we here? Like, we're here to just sit here and watch you guys have fun. That's pretty much. But if they split it, maybe had two, maybe it'd be better.
Student council leaders have heard the same message and are working to make this year more interactive for all.
So recent pep rallies, we've had a lack of involvement with the students, as last year we had to pull the student athlete captains to play instead of actual students. So this year we're hoping to build up the hype a bit more about involvement in pep rally by giving out prizes to anybody who's willing to participate in pep rally, and if we're going to try to make it more of a competition and have the class who wins have an overall prize that they win, like a class pizza party or class ice cream social, something like that.
I know I'm certainly excited to see what they do for pep rally this year. Reporting for Panther TV, I'm Sean St. Jeanette.
One thing that hasn't changed is the Panther being at the pep rally.
That's true. Have you ever wondered what the life of a mascot is like?
Today, Panther TV's Paul Grant goes behind the books with a self-staff member who spent some time as a St. Bernard.
This year on Panther TV, we're going to be sharing some fun facts about our teachers with you, going behind the books and finding out more about their lives outside of Plymouth South. Today, we start with a teacher who used to be a college mascot when she was a student at Siena College. You may have seen Miss Curley in the halls, your gym class, or even her as a teacher before, but what you may not know is that she used to be her college's mascot, Bernie the St. Bernard.
One of my good friends was the mascot before me, and when he went abroad, he offered me the position, and that's how I got it.
When going into college, she had no idea that she was going to become the school's mascot, but quickly fell in love with a new job.
Nope, it just kind of fell into my lap, but after the first game, I knew that I was really going to enjoy this job.
Not only did she have fun on the field as the mascot, she also had some pretty memorable moments off the field.
I was going to another mascot's birthday party with about 15 other mascots in the area, and that was a lot of fun.
Miss Curley enjoyed many things about being the mascot. However, her favorite part was that nobody knew who was behind the mask.
No one knew it was me, so I'd see people that I knew around campus, but they had no idea that it was me in the meat suit, dog suit. In the mascot suit.
If you have ever been interested in becoming a mascot, there are a couple of perks that come along with the position.
Yep, I got VIP parking and $50 a game.
If you're ever looking for any mascot advice, now you know where to go. And if you have a teacher or staff member who you want to know more about, let us know and we'll feature them on Behind the Books. Reporting from Panther TV, I'm Paul Grant.
Finally, this week, Miles wants to know what your favorite Red Sox memory is.
Here's Prowling the Halls.
At Fenway Park for the Boston Red Sox World Series Parade, and I went out to ask you guys what your favorite Boston Red Sox memory is.
So on my 13th birthday, my aunt paid money for it to say like Happy Birthday Callie on the Jumbotron, so that was cool.
I'd have to say in elementary school before I went to a Red Sox game, I got suspended from stealing a giant bottle of Germ-X from my second grade teacher, and it was the worst experience of my life because my parents still brought me to the game.
And she stole from Mr. McGinnis's mom.
My favorite Red Sox memory was going to the games with my dad when I was a kid, and he'd get me the little baseball hats with ice cream in them.
My favorite Red Sox memory is when I went to the game over the summer with Kelsey and my sister.
I remember back in '04, which was like my first year teaching, everybody was zombies because they were up watching the World Series.
In 2004, when they swept the Cardinals, my dad, I was only in 8th grade at the time, my dad brought me into Fenway to sort of be around the park and celebrate with everyone, and that was pretty cool because I got to miss the first period of the next day, which was cool.
My favorite Red Sox memory is when we got really good seats and I was like on TV, like whenever they pitched.
The first game I went till 1 a.m. and everyone left, so I was able to go to the first row away from third base, and it was really fun.
So in 2007, I was a freshman in college, living in Boston at Wentworth, and when they won the World Series, everyone went crazy, everyone went out into the city, into the streets. We all ran down to Fenway Park, and there was huge crowds, and it was a really good time.
My favorite Red Sox memory is when I went to my first Red Sox game after winning a video contest, and Miles practically harassed a man until he gave me a game ball.
What an amazing year. My favorite memory is when I won a video contest and we got to sit second row behind home plate and Mr. Smith bought me a pizza. Reporting for Panther TV, I'm Miles DeGrow.
That's our time for today.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, South.
I'm sorry. You didn't say that you were going to the Red Sox.
Wait. In elementary school. Wait.
This is really something.
Went to a Red Sox game and got suspended.
The whole thing happened, and then that's not true.
What's up? Yeah, Sienna.
We got second row. I forgot the row tag.
Alright, you're gonna go back. We'll go back.
Benintendi, because he's sexy.
Team win Red Sox. Yeah!
We're here at the Red Sox parade. Me and Miles DeGrow. We experienced some great hustling and bustling to get some great footage for this video. Let's go Red Sox!